Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope all is well with you and yours. I just wound up doing a whole show in silence because you guys couldn't hear me. I apologize. Apparently my computer rebooted overnight and I didn't notice that I wasn't getting any sound. I have the monitor right there. Little lines go like this. So trader, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And I thought my biggest problem was having the logo up. So we'll do it again. Here's the whole show again. HSBC faces regulatory issues in Singapore as they move forward with tokenized equities. I guess the idea is Singapore hasn't figured out what they want to do with regard to that regulation. The real issue is that Singapore has issues with U.S. equities, with U.S. anything. If you look around the world, a lot of countries are pulling back off of U.S. anything. I told you last night that BRICS had pulled back, had to actually dumped U.S. treasuries for a bit. So that was fun. That's just amaze balls. Wow, I can't believe I did a whole show like that. I'm so sorry, people. I'm so sorry. So that's one thing. You have the FOMC decision that comes out today at 2:00. I think that it will be there. I think that there will be a drop. I think that dropping by 25 basis points makes sense for the information that we have. Remember, we still don't have jobs data, and I think that we're being kept away from jobs data because it's not good. So I think following December, we'll start to get jobs data. And I think that's when people are going to start going, holy moly, we're not in a great place. Right now, we have to rely on secondary jobs data. Secondary jobs data. ADP and other places to provide, data about jobs. Goldman Sachs had come out and said, yeah, we lost 50,000 jobs in 1 month. And I'm sitting there and I'm just going, yeah, I don't think it's going to look good. People are asking me, what do I feel? How do I feel about 2026? I feel it's going to be a tumultuous year. Do I think that money can be made? Yes, but I think it's going to be a tumultuous year. I really do. I think it's going to be messy. Then you have Representative Keith Self. Sorry about muddling that name. Is trying to fill the hole that would still allow for CBDCs in the Genius Act. I get it. I totally get it. But here's what I'm seeing. I'm less worried about the Genius Act and more concerned about how the Genius Act has positioned stablecoins. Good morning, BMAC. And if you go look at the Genius Act, stablecoins have to jump through a lot of hoops. Stablecoins that are based in the U.S. and pegged to the U.S. dollar, they have to jump through a lot of hoops. And some of those hoops means carrying U.S. treasuries, carrying U.S. debt. So the transfer of U.S. debt over to stablecoins is beginning. And I guess that's one of the reasons why the government wants everybody to have a stablecoin, because you'll have to hold U.S. debt. It's not going to erase the U.S. debt, just saying. So we've got, as I sit here and I think about it, we've kind of got issues, right? We kind of have issues. Something's in my eye that's burning the heck out of me. So I'm paying attention to that. Apparently, the new co-CEO of Binance had her WeChat hacked, her WeChat account hacked, and they were pushing this coin, this token, and it did surge. It surged 200%. I'm not going to say the name of the token because I'm not trying to add to that. But CZ came out and warned about it. I believe Binance came out and warned about it. So I just wanted to put it out there that if you see Binance promoting, if you see that WeChat, promoting a particular coin, don't fall for the rope-a-dope. Tempo, backed by $500 million and a $5 billion valuation, launched a public test net. That's Stripe, and Tempo is their stable coin. So it's going to be interesting to see how that actually pans out, if it actually starts to get used once they launch it. But it making it to testnet level is a good thing for them. So congrats to them. That's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work. BTCC integrates TradingView for 400 plus perpetual futures pairs following a $1.15 trillion Q3 volume and picking up an NBA superstar as an ambassador. That last part, nobody really cares. But integrating TradingView for that 400 plus trading pairs, that right there is a move, especially for TradingView. Just saying. Pay attention to these small moves. Each one of these dots that we identify as news, okay? Each one of these dots is a standalone thing, and it's our job to start connecting those dots. And then step back, then you'll see a picture. And then as you add more dots, those dots won't come in as dots, they'll come in as colors because you'll see the picture and it'll become clearer. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. And that picture becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. Practice the GMB3. It can help you. It really, really can. It's amazing. I get sound back because a trader, because I didn't know. And now we have people actually listening. It's awesome. It's an awesome thing. Strive, that's Vivek Ramaswamy's company, 14th largest global holder of BTC. They went out and raised 500 mil because they want to buy more. So that's interesting. The Teachers Union, guess what? Opposing Responsible Financial Innovation Act. Why? Because they're citing weakened retirement protections and Supreme Court jurisdiction risks. Now, half of this is economic and the other half is political. I'm going to try to stay on the economic side. They don't feel like they're protected. Our teachers in the United States don't feel like they're protected. They feel like they're going to spend all this time, all these years teaching, and it's not going to work out for them. That's pretty not cool. Just putting that out there for you. Something to think about. I love teachers, especially since one of them is my daughter. Then you've got 21 Capital. That's that deal between, it was like Cantor Fitzgerald, Tether, and a couple of others. They've dropped since that merger. They've dropped 20% since that merger. The question is, and they just moved another $2 billion. I'm wondering, how are they going to get it back? In terms of money, they have a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential to get money, do things with money. I'm just wondering, what is it that they're going to do at the end of the day? So I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see how that plays out. And it's 21 Capital, not 21 shares, which is owned by Falcon X now. Remember Falcon a few months ago, I told you about Falcon X buying 21 shares. What else do we have? Kathy Wood claims Bitcoin's 4-year cycle is ended. I've been telling you that since literally a year ago. When we hit, I kept saying before we hit the new all-time high last year, I said, if we hit the new all-time high by the end of the year, the cycle is broken. Guess what? We hit the all-time high at the end of the year and the cycle is broken. The cycle is absolutely broken. We're in uncharted territory right now. A lot of people don't believe me. They're like, oh no, it's still the same, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, tell me what's different about then and now. The number one difference is far more institutional investment, far more retail investment, far more institutional integration, and a hell of a lot more rails being built, a hell of a lot more infrastructure being built for the coming future. So yeah, not the same. Not the same. Back then, hardly anybody was paying attention to Bitcoin. Hardly anybody was paying attention to crypto in general. Stable coins? Yeah. Nah, wasn't a big deal. We hit that all-time high. It sent shockwaves throughout the world. Holy moly, Bitcoin is at 100,000. Holy moly, people lost their minds. Didn't think it would ever happen. Since in the previous year, it was down in the teens. Yeah. Cycle is broken. Cycle is shattered, in my humble opinion. Upbit, because of its hack, is saying that they're going to move 99% of the customer holdings, customer crypto, into cold wallets. Tell me that's not a great thing. That's an outstanding thing. They want to make sure that they send the right message to the street so that they get it. The street gets it, that they're making all the right moves. That's the whole point. And why do they want to do that? Yeah. They just got bought. Their parent company just got bought. They just merged with another company, and they want to go IPO. When all the dust settles, they want to go IPO. They've already said it. So yeah, clean everything up now, regain customer trust, shore that up, calm everybody down. Like, hey, we know what we're doing. And I have to tell you, their reaction to the hack, chef's kiss. They're doing everything correctly. They're doing everything correctly. Unlike Solana, I'm not a fan of Solana. Just saying. Something else that interests me. Who is it? Not Upbit. Solana's 30-day realized profit to loss ratio is below 1, indicating liquidity contraction. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of Solana. I've been a fan of me being able to make money off of Solana, but I've never been a fan of Solana from a perspective of, I think Solana is going to, really become one of the best. No. I've never thought that. As a matter of fact, my reaction is Ethereum is already that. And then people are saying, oh, well, XRP is going to surpass Ethereum. Sure. I kind of expect it. But then again, XRP is different than what Ethereum is. Institutional transactions, builder platform. Totally different. So I can see it. Not a problem. Maybe. In the future. That's how I say it. That's honestly how I say it. USDCX, a privacy-focused stablecoin launched with Aleo and backed by Citi, the bank. But the real deal is that it's a product of Circle. Who makes the most money off of Circle? It's not Circle. It's Coinbase. Just putting that out there for you as a reminder, because each one of these points is a standalone point until you start to connect the dots. Just saying. Just putting that out there for you. And truth be told, I don't know that I care about this particular stablecoin. Who's it going to be availed to? That's going to be one, right? 2, what's its purpose? It's not obvious. Don't think it's obvious. What's its use case? Its true use case. And what sets it apart from all the other stablecoins that are already out there? And not just stablecoins, but any coin. What's its purpose? So I'm dying to see how that plays out. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. What else do we have? Connecticut judge stopped Connecticut from blocking Kalshi enforcement over gambling law claims for now, citing Federal Commodity Futures Jurisdiction, CFTC. They're saying the state doesn't have that jurisdiction. When I look at these predictive markets, I've said it before, I think it's straight up gambling. Put your money where your mouth is. It's gambling. It really is gambling. I think this is going to do this, and I'm putting my money behind it. Gamble. That's a bet. But like I always say, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Practice the GMB3. Don't know about it? Go buy the 2 books. You'll learn about it. That's your foundation. A lot of people don't have a foundation about what is crypto, what are digital assets. And then in the digital asset world, in business, in life, how do I think about things? Practice the GMB3. This community is all about knowledge, sharing it, teaching it, all that good stuff. We're not here to shill coins or anything else. We're here to teach each other so we can each grow our own bags. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. So join the community. By the way, if you want to become a member, you should, because this weekend we have another private big bagger video conference call where all the big baggers come together and share some really hot ideas about what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they are doing it. It's going to be interesting, especially after this FOMC. We're going to be I'm pretty sure with this big bagger, this is going to be the one where we're going to be taking a look at what happened over the past year and looking forward as to what we think is going to happen in 2026. This is going to be a huge big bagger call, I think. So if you're not a big bagger yet, go to GrowMyBag.tv and join. You really want to get involved. And membership has its benefits. There's a private social media platform just for big baggers. So GrowMyBag.tv is the social media platform. And on top of that, we've got like 12.6 thousand articles, not including all the videos. And there's a separate feed for big baggers. There's a regular feed for everybody. And then there's a separate feed for big baggers where we can continue to share our ideas and news. Just saying. Just saying. That's how we roll. Excuse me. Sorry, coming down with the cold. Animoca Brands partners with Solve Protocol to offer 4 to 12% yields for Japanese Bitcoin holders via lending and staking. And then here's a big move by Galaxy Digital. They invested $12.2 million in a company called Fuse, another data center provider in Abu Dhabi. I keep telling you, the Middle East is becoming a crypto hub, a digital asset hub, and we need to pay attention to that. United States, Singapore, Middle East, kind of Europe. I said kind of. But that's the news that we have for today. Except now what we should do, that's right, we should get into the numbers. So let's go do that. Let me go move this out of the way. Get my notes out of the way, and we'll start down here. There you go. So Dow futures. I mean, if you look at the numbers going across right now, yeah, all of these three are basically flatlined. So Dow futures implied open 37 points down. S&P futures implied open 4.75 points down. NASDAQ futures implied open 36.25 points down. Oil up 0.29. The US 10-year up 0.012. Interesting. Today, who do we have? Oracle, Adobe, Synopsys, Chewy. Who else are we interested in? Anybody else on this list? Barnes and Noble, J. Jill, both retail. Children's Place, again, retail. So there are a lot of things that are on there, but we're really paying attention to Oracle and Adobe. Well, Oracle, Adobe, and Synopsys. Just so happens that they're the top three. Looking at numbers, nothing matters except for the FOMC meeting today. 2 o'clock, we should get those numbers. Fear and Greed Index is up from 22 all the way up to 26, which is a good thing. DeFi Llama, we've got $123.799 billion in total value locked. That's up from yesterday. Excuse me. And we've got Bitcoin right here. Again, my line at 93,434 is still a resistance level for us. I'm waiting for us to flip it into being our bottom. That's what we need to happen. Until then, we keep bouncing on top. We just keep hitting it and bouncing off. We got to see how that flows. I think today, if it goes the right way, we get a nice little boost, and maybe we'll stay within that 93,434 to 99,655 range. We've got to fight to get back to 100 grand for Bitcoin. Then looking at the big board, I still see things on sale. If you bought last week, Ethereum was in the 2,800 range. And now look at it. It's at 33. I'm just saying, pay attention. There are opportunities. There are opportunities. BTC, ETH, XRP, BCH, Sol, if you're into that kind of thing, it's at 137. You can still get in and make some money off of that, I think. Cardano, BNB, Avalanche, Aave, let's see, Hyperliquid, XMR, which is Monero, HBAR, Link, Uniswap, Doge, SHIB. People are still talking about ZEC. You can still make money off of that. ZEC is another one, just saying. Zcash. Pay attention off of this stuff. Pay attention to this stuff. Pay attention to the movers out there. You really want to pay attention to the movers out there. Looking at the board right now, Ethereum and Bitcoin are fighting to get above that red line for year to date. It's really, really close. Fighting to get back to it. Let's see. We'll see what happens. XRP's dipped below it, but basically unchanged. So you could still get in and do well. I think that for the rest of the year we might do well, given everything that's going on. BNB is still above and in green for this year. I think anything above 850 leaves them in green. Bitcoin Cash, again, people laugh at me when I mention Bitcoin Cash, but there you are. Just saying. Yes, Chainlink is low, but guess what? I love Chainlink. Chainlink is a part of the connective tissue. Chainlink isn't going anywhere but up. Grand rising heat score. Hyperliquid is something I have my hands on, but I'm just looking at the numbers. Monero up 100% year to date. You can't tell me that's not amazing. Again, user sovereignty is a big deal, and that's a privacy coin. And again, for you guys, just so you understand, we have everything that I talk about, or just about everything that I talk about in terms of news, delivering you guys the news and everything else. They're articles right here. And right now we have about 12.6 thousand articles, not including videos. 12.6, these are the videos. We're just talking about articles. And everything I spoke about this morning is right there. So if you want to take a little bit of a deeper dive, you can go do that. You can, search on subjects. Like I want to know about Bitcoin. And there you go. It's going to bring up everything about Bitcoin over the past whenever. Yeah. And we'll be enhancing, if you notice, we also call out what you search for. We'll also be enhancing that as we go forward. The whole idea is for us to increase our knowledge base so that we can do our own research, know our entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. So if you're not a member yet, go to growmybag.tv and you're going to get access to this. Right now we have access open to everybody, but in a little while we're going to shut this down and it's only going to be accessible to members of GrowMyBag. And we have different membership levels, so we can pay attention to, who can afford what and all that good stuff. So that's what we've got going on. Big baggers, that's a private feed. And then we have a regular feed for everybody. So the feed, articles, videos, crypto tracker is another for-pay service, and that'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff. And boy, I can't wait to show you what we've got going on in the crypto tracker. Oof, that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Whew, thank you for your patience, especially today. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. Me and my team will fight for that every day. Everybody have a great day, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.